Welcome to Storytime for Sleepers, your cozy corner for gentle tales and calming sounds crafted to lull you into a deep and restful slumber. Each night, we invite you on enchanting journeys through quiet landscapes and dreams painted in soft, soothing hues. Close your eyes, let the day fade away, and drift with us into a world where peace and imagination meet. The last glimmers of crimson light faded behind them, swallowed by the endless dark of the deep. Lumia and Tilo swam on, the silence around them broken only by the slow rhythm of their breaths. Ahead, the darkness grew heavier, so thick it felt almost solid. Lumia slowed her pace, her wings folding slightly against her sides. Tilo glanced at her, his eyes narrowing in silent question. And then, a sound. A voice, low, deep, and distant, as if carried through endless layers of water. Finally, the light has come. Both froze. Somewhere ahead, two faint points of light blinked into existence. Not moving, not blinking, the water around them seemed to still, as if the ocean itself was holding its breath. Turquoise abyss. The coral gate rose before her, its branches entwined like pale fingers, forming a silent, intricate arch that seemed to hum with a faint, unseen energy. Each branch twisted in delicate spirals, and tiny luminescent organisms clung to them, casting a soft glow that painted the surrounding water in shades of turquoise and silver. The water here felt warmer, almost comforting, as if sunlight had somehow found its way down to these depths, though no light pierced the endless ocean above. Lumia stood still, her wings folded gently against her sides, feeling the weight of the moment settle on her chest. Tilo's hand rested lightly on hers, reassuring yet firm, a tether to the reality of the journey. Around the gate, shadows moved with a life of their own, swirling slowly but never approaching, as though restrained by invisible threads or some ancient protective magic. She drew a slow, deliberate breath, letting the cool water flow past her cheeks, tracing tiny ripples that reflected the gate's pale light. Her heartbeat matched the rhythm of the ocean, steady, slow, almost meditative. Each step she took felt deliberate, like moving through a dream where every motion had meaning. One step. Her foot disturbed the soft, sandy floor beneath, sending tiny particles drifting upward like motes of dust in a sunbeam. Two steps. The water embraced her, a gentle, caressing pressure that made her aware of every muscle, every movement. The moment her fingers brushed the edge of the coral gate, it responded. Light bloomed outward, soft and ethereal, like moonlight spilling across a still, tranquil lake. Tiny currents of energy rippled across the surface, carrying a faint warmth that made her skin tingle. Tilo moved beside her, their hands still clasped, and together they crossed through the luminous archway. The sensation of passing from one realm to another was almost tactile, a soft, shimmering resistance that seemed to hold them for a heartbeat before releasing them into the new space. On the other side, the water was gone. Instead, a misty expanse stretched before them, its ground soft and yielding like freshly fallen sand, each grain catching the faintest glimmers of light. It seemed to breathe, subtly shifting under their weight. Gentle wind brushed past them, carrying scents of the distant sea, mingled with the heady perfume of wildflowers and something more elusive, a memory of sunlight, warmth, and safety. Then the lullaby returned. At first, a whisper, almost imperceptible, curling around their senses like a silk thread. Closer now, clearer. A warm, familiar voice, soft yet resonant, wrapping around her mind. At last, you found the way, my child. Lumia froze, her heart trembling, every beat echoing in the quiet expanse. The mist swirled gently around her feet, curling upward like slow smoke, carrying with it the faint shimmer of the gate's light fading behind them. Through the veil of drifting mist, a figure began to emerge. Shapes formed slowly at first, blurred, then gradually sharpening as the distance closed. The light around the figure swelled subtly, slow and gentle, bathing everything in a calm golden hue. It seemed to pause, as if reluctant to let the moment pass too quickly, holding time in a soft embrace. The air itself seemed to thrum lightly with the energy of anticipation, waiting, patient. Every step she took toward the figure felt heavy with importance, yet strangely serene. Tilo's hand remained a grounding presence, warm and steady, guiding her forward through the shifting sands. Her senses absorbed everything: the soft rustle of mist, the faint pulse of light beneath her feet, the echo of the lullaby, weaving through the air like a ribbon of memory. And for the first time in what felt like an eternity, Lumia allowed herself to breathe freely, to feel the full weight and beauty of this new realm. A new chapter was about to begin, yet the moment held her completely, suspended between past and future, between memory and discovery, bathed in the gentle, unwavering glow of the turquoise abyss. The arrival. The figure stepped closer through the mist, each movement slow, deliberate, like a dance choreographed by the currents themselves. Its form was human in shape, yet shimmered with an otherworldly luminescence. Eyes, deep and calm, held the color of twilight seas, reflecting both the past and the future. The edges of its form flickered softly, as if woven from threads of water and light, constantly shifting, but always present. Lumia's heartbeat quickened, not with fear, but with awe. She could feel the energy radiating from the figure, gentle yet commanding, a presence that demanded both reverence and trust. Tilo squeezed her hand once more, a silent reminder that she was not alone. The mist swirled higher, curling around the figure's feet like ribbons of smoke. Tiny motes of light drifted in the air, dancing slowly, casting fleeting reflections on Lumia's skin and wings. Each shimmer seemed to whisper a story, fragments of memories too distant to recognize, yet familiar enough to stir a quiet longing in her chest. The figure spoke, its voice soft, layered with echoes of the ocean and the wind. "Welcome, Lumia. You have journeyed far, and yet the path stretches beyond what you know. What lies ahead is shaped not only by the choices you make, but by the courage you hold within." Lumia swallowed, her throat tight. The words felt like both a promise and a warning. She glanced at Tilo, who nodded gently, his expression calm, his eyes steady and reassuring. Who are you?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper, carried by the gentle currents of mist around them. The figure's gaze softened, and for a moment, the entire space seemed to pause. The wind stilled, the shimmer of light hung frozen in the air, and the faint hum of the abyss became a single, sustained note. "I am a keeper of this realm, a guardian of thresholds. My duty is to guide those who bear the light through the passages between worlds. And you, Lumia, carry a light that will awaken more than just this place." Lumia felt a shiver run down her spine. Not from cold, but from the weight of understanding. The orb's warmth pulsed faintly through her fingers, as if resonating with the presence of this guardian. Each pulse echoed in her chest, syncing with her own heartbeat, a reminder that the journey was far from over. The figure extended a hand, delicate and glowing. The gesture was inviting, patient, yet imbued with a subtle gravity. Step forward, child. Let the light guide you. Do not fear what waits, for it is your courage that will illuminate the way. Slowly, cautiously, Lumia lifted her feet. The mist parted gently as she moved, the grains of sand glowing faintly beneath her steps. Each movement seemed deliberate, measured, as if the world itself acknowledged the significance of her presence. Tilo followed beside her, his hand never leaving hers. Together, they advanced, the light of the orb in Lumia's palm casting long, wavering shadows behind them. The Guardian's eyes never left her, watching, guiding, and silently offering reassurance. As they moved deeper into the mist, the air shifted. Faint, melodic echoes began to ripple through the space, like distant chimes carried on the wind, harmonizing with the lullaby that had guided her here. The sound wrapped around them, gentle, mesmerizing, filling every corner of her awareness. For a moment, Lumia allowed herself to close her eyes. She let the light, the mist, the music, and the warmth of Tilo's hand wash over her. Time seemed to stretch, each second drawn out, filled with sensation, anticipation, and quiet wonder. The journey ahead was unknown, but in this moment, she felt both ready and protected. A single step away from discovering what lay beyond the turquoise abyss. Beyond the threshold. The mist began to thin, revealing shapes that shimmered faintly in the distance. Towering structures, neither entirely natural nor entirely crafted, rose like crystalline trees, their branches stretching upward and outward, catching the soft light and scattering it into delicate rainbows. The ground beneath them sparkled with 1,000 tiny reflections, like stars fallen to rest upon soft sand. Lumia's eyes widened. Every step felt like walking through a dream, where each movement stirred the world into gentle life. The air was cool yet comforting, carrying the faint scent of salt water mingled with flowers she could not name. Her wings fluttered slightly, as if instinctively responding to the quiet energy surrounding them. The Guardian glided silently beside them, a silent river of light and presence. Its gaze was unwavering, filled with patience and a quiet authority. The path ahead is shaped by your choices. Every thought, every hesitation, every heartbeat will leave a mark on this realm, it said softly. Lumia nodded, swallowing hard. The orb pulsed faintly in her hand, resonating with the Guardian's voice, as if it too understood the importance of this passage. The wind shifted, carrying new sounds, whispers of movement, soft and rhythmic, like footsteps far away. Shadows began to move delicately along the crystalline structures, twisting and curling in slow patterns, neither threatening nor hostile, but undeniably alive. Lumia felt a thrill of wonder, and just a hint of trepidation. Tilo tightened his grip on her hand, and she squeezed back, a silent promise that they would face whatever came together. Their steps grew more deliberate, measured, each one a careful negotiation with the sparkling sand beneath. Light from the orb flowed outward, illuminating the subtle intricacies of the realm, revealing pathways lined with strange, luminescent plants and pools of liquid light that rippled gently as they passed. For a long moment, the three of them moved in silence, the Guardian leading, Lumia and Tilo following, the lullaby still echoing faintly, wrapping around their senses like a warm, protective cloak. The world seemed to breathe with them, shifting and shimmering with every careful movement. Finally, The mist cleared completely, revealing a vast expanse bathed in turquoise and gold. In the distance, a faint glow marked the next threshold. Another gateway, larger, more intricate than the last, radiating a warmth that seemed to call directly to Lumia's heart. She felt both awe and a quiet fear, the realization that this was only the beginning settling deep within her chest. The Guardian paused, its gaze meeting hers, filled with silent encouragement. Beyond this gate, your courage and your light will be tested. Step through when you are ready, and trust in yourself. The path is yours to shape. Lumia took a deep, steadying breath. The orb pulsed gently, warm and reassuring in her hand. With Tilo at her side, she lifted her feet and stepped forward once more, ready to cross into the next chapter of the turquoise abyss, where mystery, challenge, and discovery awaited. A moment of stillness. As Lumia and Tilo crossed the final threshold, the light of the new realm embraced them fully, soft and warm, like a gentle hug from the sun. The air was fragrant with unseen flowers, the ground beneath them soft and comforting, each step leaving a faint shimmer that slowly faded into the mist. The Guardian lingered a moment, a faint smile in its gaze, before slowly dissolving into the surrounding light, leaving only a whisper that lingered in the air. You are ready. Trust the light within you. For the first time in what felt like 8 ages, Lumia allowed herself to pause. She closed her eyes, letting the gentle warmth of the orb flow through her, the faint hum of the realm wrapping around her like a lullaby. Tilo's hand remained in hers, steady and grounding, a quiet promise that they faced this journey together. Around them, the realm seemed to breathe in rhythm with her own heart, a slow, soothing cadence, the light swaying gently like waves on a calm sea. Tiny motes of luminescence drifted lazily through the air, reflecting in her eyes, casting soft patterns on her wings and skin. For a long, suspended moment, there was nothing but quiet, warmth, and the serene glow of the turquoise abyss. Every shadow, every shimmer, every gentle gust of wind carried a sense of peace, a sense that, for now, they were exactly where they were meant to be. And in that stillness, Lumia realized that the journey was not just about what lay ahead, but also about the light she carried within. A light patient, steady, and enduring, capable of guiding her through every shadow, every trial, and every mystery yet to come. Chapter 6. Light in the Mist. A gentle breeze drifted by, lifting the thin layers of mist that embraced the lake's surface. The water lay perfectly still, like a mirror, reflecting tiny specks of light falling from somewhere above. Lumia stopped, her eyes half closed, listening. Within the breath of the wind, she caught sounds so faint they could have been imagined, like a melody woven from invisible threads. Delicate, distant, yet enough to make the heart quiver. Tilo stepped closer, his foot sinking lightly into the cool mist that blanketed the ground. It was cold, but not biting. More like a gentle hand softly holding his own, guiding each step forward. He took a deep breath. The air here carried a fragrance both familiar and strange, like the scent of wet leaves after rain, mingled with the bloom of night flowers. Ahead, pinpoints of light began to appear. At first, they were only faint glimmers, peeking through the fog. Gradually, there were more, drifting like stars that had left the sky to find their way to the earth. The light caught on every droplet of mist, weaving the air into threads of silver and gold. They walked slowly. Neither spoke, letting the sound of their steps and their breathing lead the way. a larger glow began to form in the distance, round and full like a low-hanging moon, but radiating a gentle warmth. The mist parted, revealing a path paved with greenish-blue stones. With every step they took, each stone lit softly beneath their feet before fading back into stillness, as though remembering their passing before surrendering to silence once more. Perhaps this is the path of memory, Lumia murmured. Then, let us see where this memory wishes to lead us, Tilo replied, eyes fixed on the light ahead. The fog around them began to stir, coiling into slow, spiraling circles, lifting tiny specks of light into the air. The particles brushed against their skin, leaving a faint tingling, like warm summer rain landing gently upon them. Then the mist opened into a vast clearing. At its center stood a colossal tree. Its trunk shone silver white, as though carved from moonlight, draped in a thin veil of mist. Its branches stretched far and high, vanishing into the dim sky above, where countless glowing orbs hung suspended, swaying with the breath of the wind. As Lumia and Tilo approached, the entire space seemed to sense their presence. A beam of light descended from above, wrapping them in a soothing warmth. From deep within the tree's trunk came a low, resonant sound, a steady heartbeat, unhurried yet powerful, like the pulse of a great sleeping being. One of the light orbs suddenly detached from a branch, drifting down to land on the stone path. It stopped right at Lumia's feet, glowing in a soft blue hue. Inside, images began to swirl. A coral gate, a figure waiting with a smile, and far away, a city lying deep beneath the sea, its lights shimmering through the water. If this is a memory, perhaps it does not belong only to us, Tilo whispered. Lumia knelt and reached out. The moment her finger touched the orb, it shattered into strands of light that coiled around them like ribbons. The ground beneath them vanished, replaced by the deep embrace of the sea. At first, all they could see were shifting patches of darkness and light. But slowly, the scene unfolded. The ocean floor bloomed with coral, blazing red, emerald green, golden as the sun's touch through water. Schools of fish glimmered in silver arcs, darting like falling stars. In the distance, massive creatures drifted lazily, their bodies patterned with living light that pulsed in flowing rhythms. Their deep, resonant songs traveled through the water like a welcome from an age long past. They walked upon a path of soft white sand. On either side rose towering coral forests, their branches curving like arms in greeting. Among them swayed strands of sea plants, leaves as soft as silk, moving gently with the currents. Tilo glanced upward, where the water's surface shimmered faintly far above. This place feels alive, breathing, and waiting for us. They passed tall stone pillars coated in moss and pearls, remnants of some long-forgotten palace. Arched gates of coral opened into hollow chambers where strange flashes of light sometimes flickered, as if unseen sentinels were passing by. At the end of the path, in a wide coral clearing, a tunnel of light spiraled downward, swirling like a slow vortex. Lumia and Tilo exchanged a glance and, without a word, stepped inside. The current of light carried them, their bodies weightless, drifting as if in a dream. The glow shifted from deep blue to silver to warm ivory. And then, in the far distance, veiled in soft mist, the rocky shore of a new land emerged. On the horizon, shadowed outlines of towers and steep rooftops pierced the dim sky. A different scent reached them, the warmth of burning wood, the softness of freshly baked bread, and the crisp bite of the season's first snow. Their next journey was waiting, in a faraway corner of Europe. So, tonight's journey has come to an end. Let the images you've just heard drift gently in your mind, like little specks of light slowly fading into the tender darkness. If your eyes are beginning to close, rest assured the little light will always be there, guiding you deeper into peaceful dreams. Wishing you a truly serene night, a deep, restful sleep, and the most beautiful dreams. Until we meet again on the next adventure.